Alas, the wait is finally over, with The Mandalorian finally making its return, and boy did it give us some good moments to salivate over. Disclaimer, this is the Way to Mandalorian Season 2 spoilers, so if you don't want to hear them, we advise that you take your speeder and turn back from whence you came. By now, you've probably seen the first episode of The Mandalorian Season 2, with the show returning with a bigger bang than the Death Star exploding. With some epic action scenes, callbacks to the original trilogy, raging machismo, and of course, cute Baby Yoda moments. The opening episode did not disappoint, but it didn't necessarily move the plot forward. Not until the dying embers of the episode anyway. We were all expecting Ahsoka Tano, but instead, we got a reveal of Temuera Morrison's return to the Star Wars franchise. But what exactly does that mean? Well, we have some theories, and we're gonna give them to you. From personal vendettas, introductions to new and returning characters, and of course, more epic fight scenes. Get ready, as our Mandalorian theories are about to go into hyperdrive. And just a foreword, many banthas died to bring you this theory. Now, I know you've probably seen the episode, but let's quickly recap, shall we? I promise that we'll try and be light speed quick here, so please bear with us. In the episode, we see Mando looking for a fellow Mando to hang out with and help forge a path to the Child's People. He quickly learns that there is one in the remote mining colony Mos Pelgo on Tatooine, which annoys Mando, as he's like, I was just in Tatooine and I didn't see any Mandos there. With help from an incognito John Leguizamo, a curious Amy Sedaris, and some quick droid-related character growth, Mando makes his way to Mos Pelgos, where he finds a man in the armor of Boba Fett. But wait, there's a sting in the tail, a scorpion in the Kinder Egg, a nail in the Toblerone, and 'tis Timothy Olyphant, who plays a character from the Star Wars novels, Cobb Vanth, who is masquerading as the bounty hunter. Vanth offers Mando a cool blue drink, which I can only assume is a liquid version of Chris Hemsworth's eyes. But Mando isn't too pleased about this impoverished imposter and demands he remove his helmet at once. Vanth refuses, and testosterone rises as the two stand there comparing the size of their speeders. But their confrontation is rudely interrupted by a crate dragon, an Easter egg to New Hope, who straight up eats a bantha. Vanth offers to give Mando the armor if he assists him in taking out the dragon, which Mando agrees to, and with the help of the village and some Tusken Raiders, don't tell Anakin, they succeed in their mission. Vanth honors his word and gives Mando the armor, and Mando and the child set off on their merry way, but in the final moments of the episode, we see a mysterious character watching Mando eerily from afar. But who exactly is this mysterious character? Well, it could have been a local ornithologist who was just out taking a look at the local Tatooine bird life, but that is somewhat unlikely. That's because the character is played by Kiwi actor Temuera Morrison, who, as you probably know, played the bounty hunter Jango Fett in the Attack of the Clones until his death on Geonosis at the hands of Mace Windu. Now, seeing as Jango is firmly dead, it is very, very, very unlikely that Morrison will be playing him, but as you will also know, Jango was hired by Count Dooku to act as the prototype for the clone army that would eventually be used by Emperor Palpatine in Order 66 to wipe out the Jedi and to rule the galaxy.
Execute Order 66.
This means that Morrison is probably playing one of Jango's clones, but as it's unlikely the character at the end of the episode is just a clone ornithologist, who exactly is he? Well, we have some theories there. Now, the likely bet, and the one the internet is most convinced by, is that he is in fact Boba Fett, and he raised Boba as if he were his own son. Boba has been a fan favorite since Empire Strikes Back, and without him, there probably wouldn't be a Mandalorian show. Although he did meet the inside of a Sarlacc in Return of the Jedi, his death wasn't conclusive, and it's long been teased that he would make his return in The Mandalorian. But has all this been a red herring? Morrison playing Boba may be the smart bet, especially as his armor appeared in that very episode, but we here at ScreenRant are like Howard Ratner from Uncut Gems. We like the big, risky bets. That's why we like the dark horse theory going around the internet that Morrison is not in fact Boba Fett, but he is another of Jango's clones, Captain Rex.
My loyalty was to the Republic, not your empire.
For fans of the Clone Wars and Rebels animated series, you'll know that Captain Rex is a grizzled soldier and battle-hardened leader who originally fought with the Republic and later the Resistance. He bears a striking resemblance to the man that we see at the end of episode 1, and okay, yes, I know they're clones, but still, and it is certainly plausible that the gruff-looking man we see at the end of the episode is indeed Rex. Rex's last appearance in chronology was in Rebels, where he took part in the Battle of Endor and helped to overthrow the Empire with the destruction of the second Death Star and death of the Emperor. But what would bring him to the middle of nowhere in Tatooine, with creatures who swallow up Bantha's whole, and of course the constant threat of Sand People, who actually have a refreshing level of depth in the episode? We don't know what Rex has been up to since the Battle of Endor, and it would be difficult to guess why he would move to Tatooine, but the reason could be that he serves as an important plot device that could propel the season going forward. That's because, as again, fans of the animated show know that he is allied with Ahsoka Tano. Ahsoka's introduction to the show has been one of the worst kept secrets in Hollywood, with Rosario Dawson set to play the character, and while some of us anticipated for her to make an appearance in this episode, we've been left waiting for another time. Could that be because it will be Rex who brings Mando and the child to Ahsoka? We know Mando's ultimate goal is to bring the child to his own people, and who else acts as his own people more than Ahsoka Tano? Ahsoka will certainly have interest in the child, and may already have caught wind of his presence and set Rex and co looking for him and Mando, hence why Morrison's character is such an interest with Mando at the end of the episode. We know that the Mandalorian show is embracing the Clone Wars by bringing in Ahsoka and of course the use of the Darksaber, so it stands to reason then that Rex could also be introduced to the mix. If Morrison's character is indeed Rex, not only could he bring Mando and the child to Ahsoka, he could bring them to Katie Sackhoff's Bo-Katan Kryze, or maybe even Sabine Wren. Man, I'm just getting excited talking about it, but while we may be focusing on this theory in this video, if Morrison is indeed playing Boba Fett and not Rex, he could bring the child and Mando to someone very different indeed. So, if he is Boba, what does that mean for the plot going forward? Well, probably a lot, actually. The most likely option is that, once again, Boba works for the remnant of the Empire and provides his services to Moff Gideon and the rest of the Imperials. Gideon and the Darksaber are certainly going to cause some Phantom Menace in the series, and Gideon is probably not going to forget that Mando crashed his TIE fighter, left him for dead, and absconded with the child. As we said, Mando and the child are likely to be hot property. With their bounty growing, they're likely to be hunted, and who is more likely to search for them than one of the best bounty hunters in the galaxy? Like Ahsoka, Boba will have an interest in the child, but his interest will be more in the how many dollar bills or Imperial credits he can make and spend on Chris Hemsworth's eye juice, which now that I say that out loud sounds kinda disgusting. Anyway, Boba could either lead Moff and friends to Mando and the child, or take them to Moff and friends while frozen in carbonite, or set an Empire Strikes Back style trap for them. Either way, in this case, Boba would be going toe-to-toe with Mando, and I am all for it. That one-on-one matchup would be tastier than any UFC pay-per-view, especially if Boba takes it personally that Mando has his armor, because I'm thinking that he's gonna want to take that back. But what if Boba has reformed, I hear you say? Well, I mean, I guess that could be a possibility. After all, what traumatic life event is more likely to get you to turn your life around than spending the night in the belly of a Sarlacc? If Boba is indeed alive, and if he did indeed escape the Sarlacc, there is the possibility that he may take a redemptive arc, and even help Mando on his quest to take the child to his people, and may also know the location of Ahsoka Tano. I mean, if Rex can be good, and he is also the clone of Jango, perhaps the same could happen to Boba. This is a possibility, but with Boba being Boba, and being kind of a shady character, I'm not gonna put my money on it, and I know, I just said I was like Howard Ratner, but I'm a hypocrite, okay? But what if Morrison is both Boba and Rex in this show? As Morrison has experience to playing multiple characters in Star Wars, what if he is actually playing both characters? And what if both clones have an impact on the story? Now, I know that clones have a shorter lifespan, with their growth increased to make them battle ready quicker, but if both Rex and Boba don't age at the same speed as their fellow clones, there's a chance that both could rock up in the show. For now though, we're supporting the theory that Morrison is actually Rex and not Boba. Boba may have survived his encounter with the Sarlacc in the novels, but since Disney's acquisition of Lucasfilm, they have since made these books non-canon. And while Disney have in the past gone down the path of fan service, they may opt against bringing back Boba from the dead due to the criticism that they received from fans after Palpatine's return in Rise of Skywalker. But as we did mention, with the introduction of Ahsoka, Disney do seem to be embracing the animated series, and while they did reference Star Wars novels with the inclusion of Cobb Vanth, they will probably have preference for the established characters from Clone Wars and Rebels. Rex would work in the plot. He can drive the narrative forward and link Mando and the child with Ahsoka. He already has an established fan base, and it would be just plain awesome to have him back. And while it seems too much of a coincidence to have Morrison there just after Mando retrieves Boba's armor, we are all for this Ahsoka Taunosaurus Rex story. See what I did there? Yeah, see? Whatever, forget it. Video over. So what do you think? Who do you think Morrison is playing? How do you think the rest of the season will play out? Let us know in the comments below and make sure to subscribe, as this is the way to more Mandalorian content.